Before we get into it, Tony, I got to ask, this is the important question that's been on my mind. A lot of people think that RBI Baseball is the best baseball game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I think it's Baseball Stars. I was always a Baseball Stars guy. I also like Bases Loaded too. What say you on the matter?
To be honest, the only one I had was Bases Loaded, so I guess I'm gonna I'm gonna stick with what I know, and I liked Bases Loaded. But I was a bigger fan of some of the games that came out after that. I thought baseball games made really big strides after that. Ken Griffey baseball,
Yeah.
tremendous. Uh, you know, for me, my favorite baseball game ever is World Series Baseball and World Series Baseball 2K3 for the Xbox, for the
Yeah,
original Xbox.
sure.
Yeah.
I like World Series Baseball 95 on the Sega Genesis. That's my answer to that question, even though you didn't ask a question.
It's a
So,
Sega franchise, and I
yeah,
didn't
I
have the
know.
Sega version, but then Sega actually produced the World Series games for Xbox.
What's your favorite Tom Cruise movie? Because I like Jerry Maguire the best, I think.
I think it's interesting because when I brought up this kind of crazy period of Tom Cruise coming back as a stunt
Hmm.
maniac and doing these fantastic movies he's been doing,
Yeah.
I'm torn because Jerry Maguire is probably one of my favorite movies ever, and I think it is one of my favorite movies ever. I can quote every line of Jerry Maguire. We could just start, this is the world, and the globe pops up, and we start talking about Art Stallings, and we could do the whole thing. And I do think what he's been doing these past few years with the Mission Impossible franchise is some of the
Yeah.
greatest work anybody's ever done, and you really have to take a close look at it. I thought Dead Reckoning was the best movie I've seen in the theater ever.
I do too.
And I've never seen more cool things in a movie than I
Yeah.
did in Dead Reckoning. I actually texted David Ellison after Dead Reckoning and said, that's the most I've enjoyed a movie in a theater ever. Like, there was just stuff from the start to the finish, from the submarine at the beginning,
Did you
all
just
the
name
way
drop
through.
on me? You just name dropped on me.
It was great, great movie. And so I thought that really the last four Mission Impossible movies are so good. And like Mission Impossible 3 is great with Philip Seymour Hoffman, but like everything since Ghost Protocol, I think has been fantastic. And I've never seen more cool stunts in a series of movies. And then, Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Like it's hard to pick with these movies, but the crazy thing is, Jerry Maguire, I think, might be the most rewatchable
Hmm.
one and the best one, maybe. But as far as like at least the first time I watched it, and I've gone back and rewatched it, and it's just as good. I thought that Dead Reckoning is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Thinking about starting a movie podcast called The Rewatchables. If you ever want to come on there and talk about Jerry Maguire, we'll talk about
How
that later.
novel.
Yeah, thanks. No, it's a podcast, not a book. Jesus, Tony. So I got to ask the important question here that really it's always been on my mind with AEW and with you. Did you ever beat Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Because I never did. I could only get so far as like Soto Popinski.
No, I never beat Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but I also was not the most avid Mike Tyson's Punch Out player. Like I didn't own it. My friend owned it, and I played it at a friend's house,
Hmm.
and I never beat it when I was at his house. If that makes
When
sense.
when AEW comes through Chicago after All In, you have a Chicago swing in September. Would you like to come to the office and we try to beat Mike Tyson and Punch Out?
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds awesome.